from
third time lucky, eh?
Yeah, third time lucky, hey. So, but from now on, obviously, you'll deal directly with me. So, I'm available on WhatsApp 24/7, and obviously meetings whenever we need. So no issues there whatsoever. But look, I guess I'm interested to understand a bit about the business, where you're at in your journey, and sort of what it is you do. And then what I can then do is then start to give you a bit of an understanding to, I guess, maybe where we can fit into that and the types of things we offer. I can show you some stuff. And then if there's an interest and appetite, at the end of the call, I can send you all that information, and then, you can digest over the weekend or whenever you get 5 minutes, and then we can book another call or whatever it may be. So, yeah, please.
So,
the floor is yours.
Get her name. A lady called me the other day.
Peruse?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And I was saying to her that actually the stage that we're at the moment, we're looking for investors, not really looking for any pipeline. We've got so much pipeline, it's unbelievable, but we are now looking for investors. Yeah. So we founded only quite recently in February, Grasshopper Property Group, property development. So we will go and look at old office buildings, grade 2 listed buildings, convert them into residential accommodation. We will look at some land and do some new build, all that kind of thing. So that's what we're doing. We have done 2 rounds of investment, and we've been very lucky on both rounds to get investors, but we're kind of into our 3rd stage now. Yeah. So we have about 4 projects that are on the go, where we're using the current investors that we have, monies that they put in, and obviously some development finance and bridging, etc., is going into that activity. But for the next sort of investment we're looking for is then to just continue with the pipeline that we've got in play.
For sure.
So I think what I was saying to, and I don't know what the demo is, so I don't really know what's coming, but was saying that we're not necessarily after any more tech. We use a deal sourcer anyway, so we don't do the finding, and we don't need any of that because we've got enough going on. But I was convinced that even without all of that activity, there would be some access to investors and stuff, and that's how this relationship could work. So that's the part that I'm looking to investigate and see if it works for us.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that makes sense. So how much information did Fruz give you about what we do? Because effectively...
A little bit. But again, it's kind of quite a selling pitch, obviously, of what there is. We can help you kind of get out there on LinkedIn. We know how to do all of that stuff. This is the thing, right? We're quite active on social media. That's where we're getting our investors from, as it is at the moment. The guy that was chatting on Facebook Messenger, I was trying to say to him that I'm not sure if this is the right. I'm trying to find his name. Yasin.
Yeah.
Was that we don't need any tech, so I don't want any tech sold to us. We don't need any more subscriptions. We don't need any of that sort of stuff because of, like I say, we're on a pay a deal sourcer. We've got property filter, property engine, so we've got all the stuff we need to go and find what we need. We've got a team of specialists and professionals around us. We're just now out for the next line of investment, and that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I guess that's probably, like I said, the point about what we do. I guess we have sort of 3 services, right? So one is the CRM system. You don't need the tech, right? The second is the LinkedIn side of things. You're covered. The third side of it is the paid advertising piece. Is the other side of what we do. So effectively, we are a marketing company for people in the property sector. Now, do I have a list of investors that I can call up and say, by the way, there's a potential opportunity here for you? No, that's not what I have. I guess our point of what we do is we put your brand in front of people that are in the right place, whether that's direct to vendor, whether that's sort of people looking for, I guess basically we work with deal sources as well, who connect the dots together. So I guess in terms of like being able to deliver you directly people who are just going to be able to put money into a pot, I guess that's probably the question. And the only way we would look to do that, I guess, is potentially via some sort of paid advertising route. But then it sounds like you're pretty covered from a marketing standpoint, judging by the things that you already do.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say to both Yassim and the lady that called was, I don't, it's taken two attempts to try and get to you guys at that point anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when I saw the invite and the first time when it said a demo, I said, just what are you demoing? Because we need no more. We don't need any of that stuff right now.
No.
Not to say that when we grow again, then we need that kind of, I just don't think we're big enough yet to even do paid marketing activity.
Sure.
I say that, one of these investors has invested $1 million into us. So it's very difficult of where we're sat. We only started in February. We never expected to be where we are today. We never expected to have the pipeline and the projects going that we have today, and then be backed by so much money so early on. But yeah, we're not going to just stick with one investor. We want to kind of build a bit of a pot, as you say.
Yes, sure.
So I don't know. Show me what your backed marketing would look like.
Yeah,
and then,
for sure.
I can take a judgment from there. I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, let me run through. So hang on, let me pull up this.
So although we're being backed by a lot of money, until all these projects are through, we haven't got any money in the bank.
No, yeah,
so,
no.
So I need to understand what the cost of everything is as well.
No, for sure. Like I said, I think it's interesting, isn't it, when you turn around and tell someone, "Oh, we've just secured $1 million in funding." Yeah, but that's not $1 million in for us. There's a big difference, right? I understand.
Exactly.
I've run my own business for years, so
and that could take 9 months before we even see any of the profits out of that. So whilst it's good, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It's a slow process.
No, for sure. Okay, so let me give you a run through on like the paid social side of things, and then you can see what that looks like, and then we can go from there. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so I guess from a paid social perspective, the way in which we do that is very much driven by it's content driven, but it's also driven by targeting. So by targeting, that means what we do is we basically go out and we build a targeting metric, which allows you to be in front of the people that are going to be interested in what you're effectively selling. So in your perspective, we would be looking to target investors. We would look to probably do that potentially in I don't know if you have a certain location where you would want people to be based, or if you've got certain, I guess your project, whereabouts are most of your projects based? Are they national or are they more local to you?
No, we're like Oxfordshire, Berkshire, Wiltshire kind of area.
Okay, cool. No, that's completely fine. So let me move that out of the way. Sorry, now I can actually see my screen, which is going to help. You can still see mine, yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Amazing. So I guess sales spiel, as a business, we only focus specifically on the property market. So Farouz set up the business after working in the estate agency and property for a number of years. I think she saw a gap and said, look, I think there's an opportunity for us to help people, whether that's direct to vendor from an estate agency perspective, whether that's deal sourcers, whether that's people looking for investment opportunities, etc., etc. I guess the meta ad piece, the reason why, I guess, is because it's targeting such a vast amount of people across Facebook and Instagram, and we know that people are very active on social media. Like I said, from a targeting perspective, it allows us to put adverts in front of people who have specific, I guess, desires. They have specific interests. They're based in certain locations. So you can go as granular with this as you want. You can go as generic as you want. It just depends how far down that you want to go. So like I said, target audience wise, you can effectively pick a location. You can search within so much of a demographic. You can, like I said, you can go 5 miles from Manchester. You can go 50 miles from Manchester. It just depends on sort of the location you want to search. You can also do just a nationwide one. I guess the only problem with doing a nationwide one sometimes is that your budget gets eaten very, very quickly. Because you're obviously advertising to such an amount of people, and it might not be as specific or as specific as you need. Obviously, with the advert side of things, There is a creative element. So I guess for your perspective, I'm sure, have you got much creative pieces put together in terms of sort of selling the opportunities that you have for people to invest in? Any video content?
I mean, we've got our own kind of branding and palette and everything like that. Own investor packs and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So if you were to do something, we'd probably pull information from there. Obviously, if there's video walkthroughs and stuff like that, video content, as we know now, everyone's digesting it, whether that's TikTok or Instagram. So, and it's the same with the paid ads as well. It just depends on what sort of what you've got. We can create stuff internally as well, but obviously we do that with the lens sort of directed by you. It's all data driven, which I think is important. So that's the nice thing about paid ads versus organic social, is you can track everything to the smallest degree. So you can see where you're spending money, what your return on investment is, what your reach is like, your click-through rate, all that sort of stuff. Organic social sometimes is slightly harder because you don't quite know who's seeing it. Usually, potentially could only be the people inside your network if it's on LinkedIn. But with paid social, like I said, it goes further than that. So we do optimization, we review that, and we tweak that. So if we see something we're not quite happy with, or we think we can get more out of it, we make those tweaks. And then we do sort of weekly reporting and insights. So at least then you can see. And at any point, you may go, Jamie, can I see what the dashboard looks like? Yeah, cool. Let me send you it. You get access as well, which is really cool. Metrics that we track. So cost per leads, click-through rates, conversion rates, reach, return on ad spend. So I guess that's probably the most important one for people like yourself, is if you're putting money in, what am I getting out of it? Obviously, it depends on sort of how your sort of business model is set up and sort of how you're generating revenue. I guess obviously you need to figure out if a lead cost you £10 to get, what does that mean for you at the other end potentially, depending on sort of, I guess, the volume of what money they're putting in or what their investment is. So, so the targeting effectively is done like I said, we geo target. So we put it on a very small scale, or we can put it on a very large scale. Large scale is great because obviously it gives you more eyes, but at the same time, sometimes can eat up your budget quicker. There's hundreds of case studies and pieces that we've done. So I've got a document, it's got about 50 of them, and I can send that all to you instead of, sort of going through all the numbers. But as you can see here, this was actually for a property investor. So he came to us and said, look, I need more opportunities for investment. He got 92 leads, £3.91, and he spent, he generated effectively 92 leads for less than 400 quid, which isn't too bad. And I guess at that point, then obviously he went off and decided which ones were best for him and suited his portfolio. So I guess really we do it from the other perspective, we've done it from the other perspective, which is more investor led. So if people are coming to us and they're like, look, I've got a pot of money that I want to invest into some properties, we'll then do some ad campaigns for them and target people maybe that are looking for investors. So we sort of do it the other way around, maybe not so much the way that you're going.
I guess that's good because I'm already saying I want them, and you're saying you've got a list of them.
Well, this is the thing. So this is the conversation that I need to have with Firuz is, obviously we've worked with investors before. So is it possible for us to share that list with you potentially, and look at how we, I guess, monetize that as a product?
I was going to say, obviously there'll be a cost to that.
For sure.
Business people. I guess just going back up to that previous slide though.
Yeah, for sure.
How many of those did you manage to convert, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm honest, I'll have to check on so that would be on our main document, so I can have a look.
It's great. 92 leads, 400 quid, 350 quid. But how much did I then get out of that? What actually then went forward?
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you. I think.
So how much quality? What was the quality of them, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. No, obviously there's context to everything, right? So I think this is from a slightly different lens, but I was talking to a deal sourcer the other day, and on average we generate about 15 opportunities for them. Most of those people are doing about a 30% closure rate. So if we generate you 15 leads, you're probably closing, what's that, 4 leads, about that. So on that basis, but yeah, I can check the numbers. Like I said, there's context to everything. So
yeah.
Like I told you before, like our focus point is just the property space. So I guess we're not a generic marketing agency, right? So if you do it with us, we've got case studies galore to show you the numbers and show you how we've done it. I know Fruz is getting some more video pieces done as well with some of the case studies, so you can actually see the people, so you know they're real, and not just people put on a slideshow. So yeah, I guess that's like a bit of an overview to who we are and how we do what we do. I guess there probably is still some. Sorry, let me come back to you so I can actually see you now, because
I mean, look, I think it will work somewhere. I think I just need to know a bit more information about, like I say, the quality of the lead. How many of those do they convert?
Yeah, for sure.
Are there maybe a couple of the case studies I can reach out to and chat to?
Yeah.
Just to be able to qualify it, because like I say, you know, we are new in starting this, whilst we do have a lot of money coming our way, but it's all in the project. So the business itself at the moment is still trying to build.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate
so if we need to find 400 quid, you know, we need to know that we're actually going to get something out of it and convert what we're looking for.
So just for full transparency around costings and sort of what we charge every month. So for us, our monthly management fee is £2,000 a month to manage the adverts. That's not including your ad spend. So minimum ad spend and 500 quid. So it's a £2,500 a month investment. I guess obviously that relates to, you know, like we can relay that back to, you know, in terms of numbers. So if I show you some of the conversions that we've done, that will allow you to build a better idea. As you said, I guess yours is slightly different, because I guess it explained to me your business makes money at the end of the project. I guess once everything goes through, or are you sort of generating?
Yeah, depending on the project. So it depends if we're going to retain what we're building. So say we're putting 7 flats into a building, we might retain all of them, then have passive income coming in. Or we might just sell on and then obviously get all the money back out and the profit off of what we've done.
Yeah, for sure.
So it will vary. There's different exit strategies on each project.
Okay, cool.
No, so I mean, even just at those costs now, you know, we need to be transparent. We are new. We don't have the revenue in the business to maintain that at the moment. So that's kind of off the table. And not to say it won't be in the future when we get much busier and we've got stuff going on and we can then justify it because we are getting the returns from it. So I suppose at least it allows us time to understand each other, and if people really are getting, I mean, what they're getting out of that £2,000 a month and then an extra 500 for whatever it is, that's, you know, that is quite a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I completely appreciate that. And look, I think the idea
that. At the moment, I can see some figures on a slide, but I just don't know how many of those 92 really were worth anything. So what is that £2,000 given me?
Yeah. No, that's completely fine. And like I said, there's context to everything. So I can share what I'll do afterwards. I'll share with you the results pack that's been put together. It gives you a detailed understanding. It tells you all the business names and stuff, so you can go and happily view the business and make sure they are legit, right? Like I think it's fully transparent in terms of that. The £2,000 effectively is a setup, tweaking, reporting, like paid advertising, right? I've worked in the marketing space now for 10 years. Paid advertising is the most expensive route to market. Right? You know, because I guess the idea being is if you're good at it, I've seen a lot of people who have tried to do it and they just burn a budget like that. It just goes. They burn 500 quid and they go, where did that go? So I understand from a marketer's perspective the reason why paid ads is so expensive, because to set it up and do it right, it is costly and it is a skill. It's just got to, as you say, it's got to return an investment, and you've got to be able to see that investment, which is the nice thing about paid advertising, because you can see that return. Obviously, if I generate you 10 leads but you don't follow up on them, I can only bring what I can to the table.
Absolutely, and that's our doing. But you know, what I wouldn't want to do is then, you know, get 10 leads and I ring each and every one of them and we're not even a fit, and then it's like, well, what have I just spent all that money on?
For sure. So we do a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't generate anything in that 30 days, they refund you the money, which is very unique. Like I've never worked in a business that does what these guys do. So that's interesting for me. I think that's like a confidence side to say, actually, no, we know we can generate it, because if not, we're effectively going to work a month for free. So there is that side to it. But like I said to you, I can share everything with you, like I said, and you can digest, have a look through. Maybe, like I said, it's not a standard service, and I would need to chat with Farouz, but clearly if you are looking purely just for investors, it would be interesting to see what investors we've worked with previously, and is there an opportunity to re-engage and just introduce. She may say to me, no, that's not what we do, which is fine, but I would rather ask the question. It might be
absolutely,
for us to start building that relationship at least, and then at least if something else changes, then maybe it's time.
It's like, anybody that's been saying to us, or potentially have a chat with this person, that if we convert that and we manage to get an investment, we promised that we would give a percentage as an intro fee. So that kind of thing. There may be something in it, Jamie. I don't know.
No, for sure.
But let's test the water and check that out. What would be interesting when you go back and just probably send us across some more of the detail is how many subscribers do you now have? So how many clients have you got?
So at the moment we have, I believe, 37 people working.
Okay, so it'll be interesting at 37.
It drops on and off, like I think throughout the year, right? Because I think people actually go through peaks and troughs, so that number fluctuates.
But what's the average makeup of them? So how long have their business been running?
Yeah.
Just so I can get a feel for how many of those are in the bucket of us of just starting.
Yeah.
And actually, because they'll probably be the ones that I'm more interested in. So out of your 37, you might have, I don't know, 12% that are only less than 12 months or 18 months old.
Yeah.
They'll be the ones I'll be targeting to think, right, has it actually helped you? Has it got you the investment? Has it got you the leads that you're looking for? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. No, that's completely fine. I'm just jotting notes down as we speak, so that at least I can provide you with all the info.
I don't want to come across and you go off the call and say, God bloody hell, she was a hard client. But, it's just obviously... It's new business for you guys, and ours is a new business as well. So we just got to make sure, obviously,
like I said to you, before sort of joining the guys here and sort of helping them to do their business development efforts, I've run my own business for 7 or 8 years, right? So I completely appreciate and understand when it comes to spending money out of your business when you're new. You don't want to.
It's like every penny in.
Every penny matters, and also especially with you, right? Because you are in a position where your business is generating revenue potentially towards the end of a project, whether you exit or retain, right?
Yeah.
So until that project completes,
exactly,
you are in a position where you don't have that. You don't have that recurring revenue. Like I worked in recruitment, right? So that's what I did for many, many years and came out of it. But that was the same. I could pick up a role and I might not fill it for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
For 6 months, I have no income. And then at the end, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But when you then calculate it back for 6 months of no earnings, you're not earning a great deal. No. Look, it's just the way business works, right? So I'm under no illusion. But look, it's the start of a conversation. Let's see where
I like the theory. And, I like the fact that she's gone out and said there's a gap in the market. I love all that kind of entrepreneurial spirit. Brilliant. Loving all that. I'm just trying to assess, are we too early in our concept for this right now? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think just over these kind of coming weeks, months, we can assess that.
No, for sure. And I think the thing is as well, it's got to work on, look, you will generate leads, right? And and we know that because we offer that guarantee back, right? So if you don't, we give you your money back, no problem.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a lady the other day. Actually, she's 2 months in, right? So she's 2 months into starting her business, and we had a conversation. And she said, very similar to you. She said, look, I'm not quite at that point yet where I'm ready to pull the trigger because it is a big investment. I understand from sending her info and 2 calls, I understand how you will help me. But I'm just not there yet, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to turn it on for a month.
Yeah, and then turn it off. And
then have to turn it off again, because I also understand that marketing also is a continuous thing that I need to be doing, right? So her approach was, I've got some deals in the pipeline that I need to close. Once I close them, let's have another conversation. So we're booked in to speak at the end of September.
Yeah.
Fine. She's only 2 months in. Yeah. We know we can help her. But maybe it's not the right time. But that's completely fine. What 25, 30 minutes wasted? But it may be right next month. It may be right next year. Who knows? So So yeah, well, let me go away. Let me send you some more info. Let me have a chat with Fairuz about the investors. Let me have a chat with Fairuz about sort of, I guess, a baseline idea about how we may be able to help you, whether that's now or in the future. And then let's keep chatting. I think that's
absolutely. And again, do something similar. Let's, like you say, send the information anyway, but perhaps just drop something in, like for, I don't know, mid-October or something.
Yeah.
And then we'll just see where we've got to. Yeah, hopefully one of them's already churned out anyway. So we'll just kind of touch base, see where we are.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not a blank no, it's just timing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But look, like I said, not everything's going to be right now. Yeah. And who knows? Something may change for you in the next 4 weeks, and you might go, oh, actually, like we know life changes fast, right? But to be where you are since February, hey.
Oh, it's mad.
It's not too bad, right?
Never imagined it. But so we're very, very fortunate. But yeah.
No, that's amazing. Well, look, I appreciate the time. Thank you for bearing with the others.
That's okay. We got there in the end.
Like I said, if you have any, I'll send you all the stuff over. If you have any questions or there's anything, either come back to me an email or drop me a WhatsApp. It's usually the fastest way to get hold of me. And then we'll keep chatting for sure.
Yeah, amazing. Good. All right. Thanks for your time.
No worries, Claire. I'll speak to you soon.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.